Hey everybody, Scott here. Back to drink another tea, this time also Yunnan sourcing tea, pressed back in 2016 autumn. Originally first of all, this is the Immortal Monkey, a raw Pu-erh tea cake, 357 grams, and it's a blend of autumn teas. I think a high quality blend as well, perhaps not, like super expensive. Right now, I believe it's going for about $46 for 357 grams, so definitely on the lower end in terms of price. We also did make an Immortal Monkey ripe Pu-erh tea cake, which is a 250 gram cake with a red wrapper, which is also a really good tea. But I like this wrapper so much that I wanted to use it for more than one tea, so just changed the colors around. Originally, I was actually planning to do. When I was blending this, I was originally planning to do an impression blend, and you might have noticed there's no impression blend for 2016. Originally, I had a bunch of different teas, and I kept coming back to this particular blend, but it was kind of a little bit too much for the impression cake, and I wanted to do something a little bit different, and it was kind of more expensive than the impression cake would have been. So I had some different materials, and I just decided, I'm like, you know what, I want to use this. This is what I like. This is the blend I want to do, and it turned out to be a little bit too pricey for what I wanted the impression series to be. So I just said, you know what, that's fine. We don't have to make an impression cake this year. We didn't make one in 2013. We didn't make one in 2016. That's fine. But anyways, yeah, let's get to it. It's a blend of teas from, I believe, 4 different areas, and all autumn, but all really high quality. It's a good tea. But anyways, we'll get to it. It's been a little while since I've had it, so it'll be nice to check back in with it. And this is also one of those teas that I think kind of flying under the radar kind of teas as well, in that it just, it hasn't gotten a lot of attention. I think there's definitely some people that are onto it and are enjoying it and drinking it. But hopefully this video will pique a little bit of more interest in this tea, which I think is really good. So I'm using about 4 grams here in this Gaiwan. I just took all the kind of stuff that was hanging out in the wrapper. So I didn't really put out a fresh chunk. So it's a little more, I'll just leave that. A little more choppy than probably normal, but that's fine. It'll come out a little bit stronger because of that, and that's just fine by me. So, do the wash. There's a bunch of kind of little bits there. And again, this is if you look at the pictures online, you'll see that it's a, large leaf, whole leaf. It's not broken or anything like that. It's a very nice looking cake. And 2016 autumn was a really good autumn too. So I'm, there's a little piece right here. Put that back in. Oh, don't want to waste it. Let that sit there. The other thing I really like about this is not just the art, but the wrapper itself. It's that Daizu, the Dai minority. I think Daizu zhi they call it, and it's made in Sichuanbana, and it's handmade, and it's very thick, and it's got a really nice kind of texture. It has almost like a cross check, kind of checkerboard type fine pattern on it. It's very fine, but it prints really well, and it's very, very durable. That's going to be strong. Oh, the aroma on this is really nice too. Very, very strong aroma. This has got a nice kind of, as is typical of autumn teas, the tea soup will come out a little bit darker. If this were a spring tea of roughly the same age, it would have probably a little bit more of a yellow tea soup. This one's tending towards golden with just like the tint of copper in there. It's getting a little bit, you know, autumn teas for whatever reason tend to have a darker tea soup, given, you know, their age. If you have a 5-year autumn and a 5-year spring from the same year, the autumn's going to be quite a bit darker in color, so that's normal. So I don't burn myself. I hate to even burn the tips of my lips. Oh yeah, no, gotta wait. Oh yeah, the other cool thing about this this design. This design was done by somebody in Ukraine, Marina in Ukraine. And I really like it because it depicts something, a story from the 西游记, or the Journey to the West, where Sun Wukong, the immortal monkey, well, just about to become immortal, sneaks into he visits the, I don't know, the gods in heaven or whatever, and he steals away for a minute when he's meeting with them, and he goes into their peach orchard where peaches are growing on trees that bestow immortality, and he just goes over there and he picks one and he eats it and he becomes immortal. And so this depicts that moment where he's about to achieve immortality. So it's kind of, it looks like cartoonish and not serious, but it's really, it's a pretty powerful moment, and in the story as well. If you haven't read Journey to the West, I highly recommend it. There's there's a really good English translation of it. Definitely worth reading. And if you haven't watched the 90s, if you can find subtitled versions of it, or even a dubbed version of it, the 90s show Journey to the West, 西游记, the 90s version that they originally did with the weird costumes and all the, it's kind of cheesy, but it's actually really, really good and really well done. And a lot of it was actually filmed outside of Kunming, so that's cool. It's kind of the classic show in China that people like to watch, and everybody says that they've come out with like three or four newer versions of it since the original, like, I think early 90s version, and nobody likes it nearly as much as the original one, even though the original one didn't have any kind of CGI or any of that kind of stuff. It was all just kind of like, you know, old school special effects, and there weren't that many special effects, and a lot of costumes. Let's keep going here. I'm still looking for a silver teapot that's about 80 milliliters. They still haven't made one. Keep bugging them day in and day out. So rich and smooth. Just a touch of bitter and astringency, but it's not overpowering at all. The thing I like about this tea is the body and the viscosity. The taste is kind of sweet and honey-like, and then it's got that bitterness and astringency to counter it, which you can, leave. It kind of leaves that feeling on the tongue there, which is nice. That's a bit stronger. That's got more astringencies. The leaves have opened up on this one, on steep number 2. And of course I washed it once as well. That's real strong as well. It's got almost like a floral astringency, cooling, minty. This is a really active tea in the mouth. It's very, very active. Wow. A lot going on here, very strong. The first steep really played nice after the wash, and that kind of surprised me as I expected it to be stronger. But we're really getting into it with the number 2 and number 3 here. A lot of tannins and oily. I wouldn't say it's creamy, but it has an oily and it has an oil, kind of almost like a floral, oily character to it. But the floral taste is just, it's a hint of it and then it goes away. The long-lasting taste is really more the sweetness and the astringency and just a touch of bitter. It's playing a little bit more nice here. I definitely oversteep these, but still very strong and strong mouth-watering effect. Let's get some more tea in here. Wowza. Like the Impression series and kind of like the 2015, 2017, 2018, this is a very strong tea and one that I feel is definitely suitable for aging, even though it's just autumn material. There's plenty of great autumn teas and autumn teas that taste really well with some age, which is nice. And if we were to make this from spring tea, it would be considerably more expensive as well. I think, given the price and how it's performing so far, it's a great deal. Really settled into this steep and this steep. A really nice, full-bodied, viscous, just kind of explosion. A lot going on. Explosions. It sounds like Pu-erh. I was going to say explosions in the mouth. This sounds like a Borat right there. That would be fun. Do a tea tasting session with Borat and Stephen Colbert all at the same time. Let them read the description of the tea and then drink it with me and make comments. Oh, it's funny watching some of those Stephen Colbert ones where he comments on the tea or he comments on the description that I write, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I really should write these a little bit more carefully and with a little bit less Chinglish. Flavor explosions in the mouth. Creamy mouthfeel. Wow. Really long-lasting liu gan, so that the feeling that stays in the mouth after you've drank it, liu gan, it's really there on this tea. Wow. Cooling. Wow. Not even a little bit going down here. We've got steep number 6 right here. And this sucker does not even want to give up a little bit. Yeah, I think one of the reasons I got real puckering kind of astringency on these, the second and third steep, was because of all the broken leaf that I put in there. I'm somebody who doesn't like to just always pass that up. The tea hasn't lost its potency like that because it's all sitting, wrapped up tight in the cake. If I break off too much, sometimes I'll put it back on the broken part of the opened part of the cake. And then next time I go back in, I'll take it and dump it into the wrapper and I'll drink it. So I guess we're on steep number 7, is that right? Maybe I'm confused. Actually, I can tell by the heat of the cup. Yeah. maybe it's steep number 6 anyways. Do that. Oh. Let's give this one a go. Nice. So like here we've reached steep number 7, we'll say number 7 because I might have forgotten, but the steep number 7, still really strong. The bitterness and stringency has faded just a little bit, but there's so much going on in the mouth from the previous steeps that it's kind of hard to separate out. It's like, is it still delivering a lot of astringency and bitterness? It feels like it. My taste buds say not as much, so, but it's very sweet and very viscous still, a lot of body. We'll let this one go for a while, but yeah, I definitely would check out this cake if you're a fan of the Impression series. I think that you would like this cake. The price tag is a little bit higher, but I don't think it's prohibitively higher. You know, I figure if this was a tea that I produced in 2016, an Impression tea, you know, probably would be around the $30-something mark, low 30s or so by now. This one's only 46, so it's not too much more. And I think, given the quality of the material, it's worth the extra. It doesn't have maybe the same exact familiarity as the 2017 Impression or the 2018 or the 2015, but it's in a similar style. And again, that's because one of the reasons is because I was actually intending to make an Impression, but was using some material that some teas in there that I was like, well, what if we put this one in, maybe just to up it up a little bit, and then suddenly I put this one in, and it's like, oh, this is kind of a different tea and a little bit more expensive than I was intending it to be. So again, it's kind of like a Impression Plus or an Impression Plus Plus or something like that, if you want to look at it that way. Of course, it's really its own thing. So, but I do think that there's a connection there. If you liked the 2015, 17, or 2018 Impression, I think you'd like this as well. Very nice, going really strong here. I'm kind of tempted to re-steep. I don't want to. Well, I'm definitely going to re-steep. It's whether or not I'm going to make you sit around and watch while I do that. But all right, we're back. I just reboiled the water and did about a 2-minute steep on this last one here. I'm actually going to set this one up and probably drink this after the video is done, or we can also do fast forward. Actually, no, that would be too much. But yeah, let's give it a try. I guess it'd be steep number 10. Nice. There's a real mineral sweetness too that's coming through on these steeps. This tea is far from done. I'd say it would go another 2, maybe 3 steeps if you pushed it a couple minutes each time, which I'll do right here. But that concludes it. I just wanted to kind of wanted to try that, just a last steep, walk away and come back, and you know, not make you sit through the whole thing. 2016 Yunnan sourcing, Immortal Monkey 357 gram cake, and check it out. We'll link down below. I think it's a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye.